Hello everyone and welcome along to live coverage of the Inside Line Racing League season. It's round number 8 and it's the Italian Grand Prix here on Xbox ILR1. I'm Ginger and joining me once again for what should be a fantastic race around the Cathedral of Speed, we've got James Baker. James, we've got a tight championship battle and we arrive in Monza looking to get it even more exciting here today.
Absolutely. Good evening everyone, welcome along. One of the best on the calendar, one of the more historic circuits on the calendar, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. It's changed down the years. We used to go left then right, now we go to the opposed right and left. It's quite basic, but let's get the principles all done and dusted. We are in a massive championship fight at the moment. There are only a couple of rounds to go. This race will mean something so much in terms of the context of the entire championship. Any race almost seal the deal, seal the fate. We can sort of see it, what's arising. Sierra's begun to join the championship fight with its win. So it's got all the elements to be an absolute classic final few races.
Yep, absolutely, James. It really does. We've got 4 races left: the Italian Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix, the Japanese Grand Prix, and the Brazilian Grand Prix. This is round number 8 of 11, and as you mentioned, Sierra's win last time out brings him into contention in this World Championship battle. LCR Leopard, he is top of the standings at the moment. He has managed to win 3 of the opening 7 races with 118 points. But despite winning 3, and the man in second tier, Olympus, only winning 1, he only has a 7-point advantage. It's all to play for between those two. And after that win, as you mentioned, James, last time out from Sierra, he now moves within a race victory. 24 points off the lead. He's on 94 points. So the top 3 really evenly matched going into the final 4 races. It's hard to call, James. We've had a 3-car fight going into the final race of the season before. Do you think it's going to go the distance here as well?
I think it definitely could do. As we've seen so far this season, a mistake means so much. Even a poor result, a result that means that you're not on the podium, does cost you this season. Absolutely. So any sort of little glimpses of a mistake or pressure, and it's going to be over for at least one of these guys. But we could see a 3-way scrap. Sierra's got it all to do, to be fair. He is 23 points, I think, behind in the championship. So he has got it all to do. But we'll see what he's able to achieve, because 3 races to go, 4 races to go, including this one. He's got every possibility to really state a case for this championship.
Absolutely, there's a real fight going on for the championship. But we should also mention the newcomers to ILR1 coming after 7 races. We've got a few new drivers, the first of which, Jones Alonika, who is from PAOK. That's how I know of PAOK, that Greek football team. PAOK Thessalonica. It's so hard to say it. I've always remembered that football team in Greek football, whether it be Europa League or Champions League. I've never known how to say it, but that man has once told me that that is the team he supports. That is this town or city he is from in Greece, and it's good to see him joining us here in the top tier of ILR action. We've also got BRL João Pedro, and we were mentioning off air, James, that newcomer. We love that name. It's a really cool name. It sounds like a Premier League footballer's name. Does he play for Wolves, perhaps?
He might not play for Wolves. He'll begin hopefully with a team in yellow or gold, but from what I understand, there is a 17-year-old in Fluminense in Brazil who plays for Fluminense in Brazil. Only played 3 times for them, but is already looking to get his Premier League move to Watford. Starting to sound a bit more like Sky Sports News than it is the Formula 1 at the Italian Grand Prix, but you get the gist.
Yeah, we love that name, João Pedro. That just rings off the Scottish tongue. I love that. João Pedro. I love it. I really do. Welcome to the league, João Pedro. Welcome, John, as well, with that tongue twister of a Greek surname. Or hello to the dog that's joined us. Hello and welcome along. We've also got ESR Amazed who's joined us, and that's a little bit easier for us Scots. Well, from eyes of Scot. He is Scottish himself, so welcome along to him. We've got 3 newcomers to the series, and of course the 3 guys fighting out at the top of the championship. So, you know, all is well in ILR at the moment, James, isn't it?
Absolutely. We've got a great grid, and you know, all these guys are looking to really just stake their claims and see what they can do for future seasons. We had a couple of guys like this towards the back end of last season who just come in and wanted to prove themselves to show how quick they were. But it's interesting to see how quick these guys are. There are a couple of quick guys. João Pedro is one in particular in the Brazilian side of things that does catch the eye. I'm pretty sure, well, he would have been racing with Serra, and I'm sure these two are going to be nice and even on circuit, hopefully. But having said that, Serra goes fastest of all, once again with an 18.9. That's a stonking lap from Serra on the super soft tyres. A couple of other guys as well, amazed in there as well in the Williams. Interested to see how he can get on. He has improved massively, and actually, João Pedro disposes of his Brazilian counterpart, goes fastest of all with an 18.7.
Yep, good effort there from João Pedro to go quickest of all. But yeah, as you mentioned, Serra the quickest of the championship contenders so far. So we've got a Brazilian 1-2 at the top as I watch ILR come across the line, and he goes 7th quickest with his first ever qualifying lap in the ILR1 top tier. But of course, as we mentioned, the Cathedral of Speed, the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza, an absolute classic of a Grand Prix circuit, right up there with the likes of Spa-Francorchamps, Suzuka, Silverstone, Monaco. It's right in there with some of the big traditional racetracks, you know, with the fantastic Curva Grande as we watch ILR go through there right now, and the two hard-stopping chicanes, the Retafilio and the Variante delle Roggia chicane. Some great names, Ascari as well, and of course, James, the old bank circuit, which I had the pleasure of climbing and scaling last year, which overlooks the circuit in its magnificent historic past. It's great. We've got past and present here at Monza.
Yeah, you say you were climbing and scaling. Were you falling as well? I understand it's the gradient on that banking of corner is crazy. It's just almost like almost 90-degree drop. It's silly. Was it like that?
Yes, it was. It was absolutely crazy. I've got absolutely no idea, James, how they managed to race on that all those years ago. They were absolutely fearless. I cannot believe it. You could literally not come down that without stumbling and tumbling down it. It has to be said, and that was without a few beers in there. It has to be said. So there you go. You know, it is an absolute incredible gradient, but of course safety is paramount, and we don't have to worry about the dangers like that these days. But of course, this is esports. We don't have to worry about any of that at all. If they hit the barrier, they'll just jump out the chair and get back on with it. But here we go. TRL Limitless, 14th at the moment, no lap time on the board. James, his win a few weeks ago back in Silverstone, his highlight of the season, but he's been quite consistent as well, and he'll be looking to continue that consistency here with a podium at the very least this weekend.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We said it from day one at the start of this season. Consistency was probably going to win you a championship ultimately, and we're going to see it with Tiro Limitless now. I'll take you through a lap of this Italian Grand Prix circuit at Monza as we come round the Parabolica corner. Of course, in the race, don't want to be going too wide through here. AstroTurf on the right-hand side, and Limitless is going to do a lap. I got very worried for a second there. Opens the DRS up. Cars will be really very, very close to hitting about 220 miles an hour before they smash down their left foot on the brake pedal. Just after the 100 metre ball, you can take a lot more curve than Limitless has decided on this occasion. You can run the car right over that orange curve, but you've got to nail it if you're going to do so. That's turn 1 and 2. Don't really want to be going wide through there, and especially don't want to be going wide through the Curva Grande of turn 3. Alonso and Vettel all those years ago that nearly got into blows. Into turn 4, this again, you can take a lot of curve through it. And 5, don't run it too wide. You don't want to get a wheel in the gravel through there. And now the first of the Lesmos. And these are very difficult corners, slightly off camber on entry and again through exit as well. Down the gears once again, just a quick shift to 4th. And up the gears once again towards the Ascari chicane, the famous Ascari chicane. This is the second DRS zone on this circuit. It just be just to add. There's only 2 around Monza, which is slightly surprising. That may change for this year. Through Ascari, absolutely committed, as you'd expect. Maybe a bit too committed from Limitless, and he's actually out of qualifying. Well, that does sum it all up, doesn't it?
Well, the pressure was on, James on the commentary, and boom, TRL Limitless spins big time on the exit of the Ascari chicane, and this Monza circuit can bite, and bite it has to one of the championship contenders. He's in the wall, and the left front tyre is folded up over the chassis, and that is a big dent, not only in his Mercedes, but in his championship aspirations as well. He will have to start at the very back because he, James, has not done a time lap to this point. Wow, that is a big moment in the championship.
That is a massive blow in the championship, and for a man of his experience, the one thing that he'll remember to do is get the banker lap in, and when you don't have that put in, you're going to end in an absolute disaster, as he's just found himself in there. That is so costly. You cannot afford to do that going into the last few rounds of a championship season, and that may prove pivotal. We've seen him win from the back this season at Silverstone. We're going to have to see it around a circuit which, thankfully for him, isn't Monte Carlo. He is able to overtake around here. He's going to have so much work cut out ahead of this Grand Prix tomorrow.
Well, you know, it's almost unforgivable, James, for a championship contender to make that kind of mistake. You know, you don't need to take the risks so early on. Get a lap on the board and then do it. And for Limitless to do that, he'll be so angry with himself. It is crazy. It's such a rookie error from such an experienced driver. That has to be said. I don't like hammering drivers, but I've got to there. That's a big error from TRL Limitless, and it could cost him in the long run in this championship battle. We are looking at Leopard, his championship rival and championship leader, who is 7 points clear of him at the moment, and he knows that the pressure's off now. He's fourth. Well, he was third until John went third quickest. He's now fourth quickest in the order. He's actually not going too quickly on this latest run. So let's have a look at Cira, who looks like he's attacking a little bit more. The Brazilian driver. It's an all Brazilian front row as things stand. 3 drivers in the 1 minute 18. So you've got João Pedro, Cira and John. 2 drivers of the top 3 are newcomers to the tier. So they're both putting their name up in lights at the moment as Cira slides through the second part of the Lesmos and then heads down underneath that tunnel. That's the bridge where I once tried to scale and fell down, pretty much. As Cira now heads through a scary, pushing to the limit. This is where Limitless crashed. Slight oversteer moment as João Pedro.
Pedro's on the wall.
It's Pedro in the wall. Where has he been off the track? Not too sure where.
That's down at Scar as well.
Place. Yeah, same place.
Yeah.
So João Pedro does a Limitless and ends in the barrier too as Cira comes round, and is he going to complete the lap? A 1:18.9 at the moment. He improves to a 1:18.8, 1:10 shy of his Brazilian counterpart, João Pedro, who by the looks of it, James, also did a Limitless and stuck it in the barrier.
That's twice in one league race that we've spotted that in qualifying so far. Maybe if guys have maybe a little less of ability, I don't want to ever criticise any league racers out there because we're all doing it for fun ultimately, but the curves that you have through Ascari, actually more so is coming through them now. How you've got to approach it, be quite calm on entry, but you've got to power your way through, all the way through. You cannot afford to clip that curve on the exit through the left hand, at the left hand kink of Ascari, because the moment you clip that, you are going to spin around. It's such a big curve that if you just cannot ride it at all. It's a no-go zone for any of these drivers, and a couple of them have fell victim to it.
Absolutely, yeah. CRG Murso goes across the line, 10th quickest, 1 minute 19.3. Will be celebrating because he managed to get himself into the pro draft this week, didn't he, James? Fantastic effort from CRG Murso. No longer an academy driver with CRG. He's moved up to the big boys at CRG, so congratulations on both parts for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive congratulations for him to get up to the more experienced CRG team, I suppose, not the academy, making his progression up the ranks, and of course doing his absolute utmost in F1 Esports as well, qualifying for that as well. Fantastic. I don't think he's going to be a man just beaming with confidence at the moment, more so. So this is a good opportunity to show to these F1 Esports teams potentially what he's made of. I mean, he's 10th at the moment in qualifying, and we'll see how he's able to progress, the Northern Irishman, in this Italian Grand Prix. Yeah, well, he's 3/10 up on his previous best through the second sector, so things are looking good. There's that big curve there on the left-hand side that James was talking about as we go back on board with Murso. You know, as you say, James, it's so big, and if you hit it at the speed you're carrying while turning left, you're just asking for that back end to come round. It just doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to stick. These cars are capable of a lot, but they're not capable of that much. As CRG Murso comes across the line, a 19.3 to beat. Is he any quicker? Yes, he is, an 18.8 from CRG Murso, and you were bang on the money, James. He's beaming with confidence, and there is the proof, a 10th away from top spot. Good effort from Murso. I'm thinking that he may even be hoping for a bit more than that. If he can get into the pits now, but on a new set of super softs towards the end of qualifying, who knows where Murso could be towards the end, but it's all very, very tight at the top, isn't it? I mean, there's about 3/10 covering the top 6. The Leopard is the first man in the 19.0s, or in the 19s, and he's 6th on the grid. So we will have to see an improvement from Leopard, and there's no doubt about that, because Cyr at the moment, he's coming out to do another lap in his final run in qualifying, and at the moment he's ahead of Leopard, which is kind of what he needs to do if he really wants to take this far in the championship.
Absolutely. So Cira, you know, really starting to apply the pressure of the two men who are further up the road in the standings. Limitless has got it all to do from the back of the grid. So as you can see, two drivers greyed out with 3 minutes to go. The man at the top and the man at the bottom, João Pedro, set the quickest lap of the session before crashing at Ascari, but not before Tyrrell Limitless did it even earlier on in this session, failing to get a lap time on the board. One of the championship contenders in real trouble. Here comes ESR Amaze to start a flying lap, the only man on a quick lap at the moment, and as you can see, other drivers coming out of the pits. That will distract him slightly as he looks for that braking zone down into the ILRGT chicane, and he heads through that first chicane and now heading, sorry, that was the Rettifilo, and now down towards the ILRGT through Curva Grande, absolutely flat out in these modern day F1 cars. I'm pretty sure you all remember Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel going side by side, not once but twice through there a number of years ago. As the ESR Amaze now heads through that second chicane and on towards the Lesmos. And you know, this is the one area of the track where you need that extra bit of downforce. You don't actually have it, so you find yourself understeering quite a lot, and there you go, Amaze having to use all the racetrack and more. Now, shortest line through that little kink, down underneath the bridge, where the old circuit lies, and into that Ascari chicane. What can ESR Amaze do at the moment? He's 15th on his first appearance in ILR1. First appearance also for the current pole sitter João Pedro and Jones Alonike. Here comes ESR Amaze through the parabolic and the front sliding away from it, just didn't want to grip up there, and he now takes the shortest route to the line. A 19.6 is the quickest at the moment. Doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement though. It's a 19.7, no major gain there, but Sira, his teammate, has started his latest flying lap, James.
Absolutely has. He's coming into the turn 4-5 chicane. Now, this is a place where, yeah, it takes so much curve, and he's actually invalidated his time by doing so. I was literally just about to say that. Don't be taking too much curve, and that is the key around this circuit. The moment you try to bite off more than you can chew, you're going to invalidate your time. It's as simple as that. And for Zero, that's the case of what he's found himself in here. He's got, well, about 1:16 to get round and begin another lap, which will be absolutely fine for him. He will get another try in qualifying. There's a few guys out there on laps at the moment. Leopard is on an out lap, and I think he'll only get one shot at this qualifying session. Yeah, and I'll tell you who left the pits very, very, very late. CRG Murso with like 1 minute and 22 to go, so he is going to be under a lot of pressure as he tries to avoid all the traffic. Into the pits comes John. So his first qualifying session in ILR has come to a close. It will be 5th at best for him. Who else we got out there on a quick lap? Piona Brown coming down towards the Ascari chicane. How is he going at the moment? Look at that. The server really gripping up. He takes quite a bit of curb there on that curb we said can be quite risky. So he's obviously feeling confident with the balance of his Alfa Romeo. Down towards the to the inside there. Jason now, quickest of all. Where does that come from for Jason? A 1:18.662 to go quickest of all. Now here comes Piona Brown, and he goes quickest of all. A 1:18.6. Oh, apologies, I think I'm back now, but incredible stuff here in qualifying. Piona Brown on top, Jason second, and João Pedro third. Sira has started another attempt. Is Murso going to make the flag? Yes, he has, only just to start another flying lap. Where is Leopard? Is he out there? He is out there. Who's further round the track? It's Sira. So let's keep an eye on Sira first. Down underneath the bridge. Go on, James, go on. Yeah, powering his way down in towards the Ascari chicane, as I was just about to say. And we know how crucial this is for his championship aspirations. That's the thing on the line here. It takes so much curve through the exit of Ascari again. And let's see where the Brazilian will go as he heads down towards the Parabolica. Well, here comes Sira accelerating at full pelt into that Parabolica. What's it going to be on this occasion? The car gripping up. It's Piona Brown on for a shock pull at the moment with Jason alongside in the front row. You would have long odds on that. Is Sira about to go quickest of all though? No, he stays P4. He must have invalidated that lap. So now, centre stage for LCR Leopard. It's time to rival in the wall. Sira only 4th, and Leopard moves up onto the front row. A 1:18.6. Who else can improve? Murso can't. Jason's in the pits, and Piona Brown is backed out. I think that might be it for qualifying. Yep, Rosberg's completed his lap. There's only Jork up the ticks, he will be saying as he rounds the final corner. He's got so much understeer in that Toro Rosso. He's not even going to make it properly round. And across the line comes Jork to stay 13th quickest. And ESR Amaze is coming around the final corner, and he is not in a quick lap either. And that means to say we have a shock pole position in ILR1. Piona Brown takes pole position for the race here at Monza.
Where did that come from? Did you see that one coming, James? I certainly did not.
I didn't, but I mean, I'm not going to say he'd be my driver of qualifying because that goes to Mr. Jason. How many times this season, Andy, have we said he's been rotten with luck and without any luck? And on occasion where he needs to perform for the Ferrari team, he slots it on the second row of the grid. But look how close that is between the top three.
So close. P1R Brown on top by 6,000ths of a second. LCR Leopard, he might not be on pole, but I'm pretty sure he'll be satisfied with that. His big rivals, VSR Syrah is 6th, and his other rival, his closest rival in the championship, TRL Limitless, is dead last after a crash in qualifying. P1R Brown on top, LCR Leopard second. Jason, as you say, where did that come from? He's been so unlucky throughout the season. He is third. The newcomer, BRL João Pedro, is fourth. VSR Verstappen, good effort with fifth. Sixth for Syrah, seventh Merceau, Bastic eighth. Jean was ninth, and Melanie rounds out the top 10 in what can only be described, James, as a rather topsy-turvy grid.
It is. It's really sort of out of the ordinary. Sort of reminds me of the 2017 grid that we had in Monza. It was all really scattered about through grid penalties, etc. And that was the year, of course, if you can't remember. Hamilton was on pole, so no surprise there. Actually matched the record at the time, I believe, or beat the record. It was something along those lines. It was Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll alongside him on that day. So it's slightly topsy-turvy, but let's see what all these guys can do. Looking forward to seeing how those Ferraris get on. They need a big performance here.
Well, here we go then. It's all set for the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. Round number 8 of the championship. 11 races with 100 points still available. 24 points covering the top 3 drivers. It's Leopard ahead of Limitless by 7 points. And then in third, Syrah 24 back, just about within a race victory's reach. But the big story of qualifying, of course, TRL Limitless putting it in the wall without getting a timed lap on the board. He was without doubt the biggest loser in qualifying. The biggest winner, well, you could say it was Leopard. You could say it was that great effort from Jason, or the pole time from P1R Brown. Who's your main star of qualifying? Are you going to go with Jason, or are you going to go with P1R Brown, James? What are you going to call?
I'm going to go with Jason. I think Brown actually had a stellar qualifying, I think, in Austria. So for that reason, I'm going to go and put my bets on. I actually think Brown got pole position in Austria, dare I say. And for me, it's Jason, because to be honest, his luck and everything that he's kind of witnessed over the course of this season, he really has just had torrid luck. And when he performed, he needed to perform. He did perform, and it's just a major qualifying performance. But qualifying means nothing, Andy, unless you cannot do it in the race.
Absolutely, but Jason for me is one man that can do it in the race. He when gets away without any trouble whatsoever, doesn't pick up penalties, and this track with its chicanes and clumpy curbs certainly can allow drivers to pick up penalties. And Jason for me is a dark horse. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure in my bold predictions, Jason to win a race was one of them.
Yeah.
Will it come today? I hope so for my bold predictions. Not at all biased, by the way.
Yeah. Well, Andy, just another thought for you here. I mean, you predicted Jason would win possibly a race this season. I predicted we'd have 5 different winners. If he wins today, it kind of places both our bets quite nicely. We'd have a 5th different winner this season, and Jason would have won a race. It's going to be interesting, though. Everyone in the top 15, so that's pretty much everyone bar Limitless, all start on the super. For the softs, he's going to try and go longer in this one, and I'm not sure I'd blame him, to be honest, because he's got to manage as he can as well.
Absolutely, TRL Limitless, the only man going on that alternate strategy. How will that work out for him? It's going to be interesting. We've got 27 laps ahead of the drivers. It's the circuit with the highest average speed, and it usually results in the shortest race distance. Here we go then, the cars lining up on the grid. It's P1R Brown starting from pole position in the Alfa Romeo. Well, as opposed to Tifosi, it's an Italian car, the Alfa Romeo, in some sense. So I suppose they'll be happy about that. Jason and João Pedro in the second row. Can they deliver for the Tifosi here at Monza? Can Leopard extend his championship lead with his rivals out of sorts in qualifying? We'll all find out as the 5 red lights are about to come on. Here we go then, the Italian Grand Prix and ILR Xbox, round number 8 of the championship. The 5 red lights are on, and we are racing here at Monza. It's a long run down towards the Rettifilio, but at the start, Leopard has got a flying getaway, pulling alongside P1 Brown on the run to turn 1, with 3 abreast into the braking zone. Leopard breaks that little bit later and just about gets it stopped and holds on to the lead. Great start from LCR Leopard as they stream through the chicane and down through Curva Grande. Leopard with an easy lead. Jason side by side with P1 Brown. Through Curva Grande they go. In the background you've got João Pedro waiting in the wings for any incident, but it's Jason second and P1 Brown with a really poor getaway in third. Contact down at the back. I think Drelix or who was it? Murso's off.
Morso.
Yeah, go on, James.
Yeah, Morso spun around in the background there, not too sure what's happened. I don't know whether he's lost an entire amount of his front wing, but what a great start that was from Jason, one of the 4 seniors getting a bit out of shape. That's Verstappen again having a good qualifying session. Sarah's under pressure in behind from Bastek, and Limitless hasn't lost any positions at the start, but there is all sorts of action as we go down into Mascari.
Yeah, it's all happening, but it's the big loss for P1 Brown. He's down 2 places. Mercer with that spin, down 9 on this opening lap of the Grand Prix. João Pedro tucked up right behind P1 Brown, trying to relegate him another position. Doesn't look like it's going to happen as they go down through the Parabolica. Brown locking up though, and João Pedro is reeling him in, and you can hear the roar from the Tifosi, expectant to try and get 2 Ferraris into the podium places as they cross the line to start lap number 2. Into the slipstream goes João Pedro. Is he on his ILR debut about to make a move on P1 Brown? He's going to try and outbrake him into the braking zone. Does he get it stopped? The Tifosi are on their feet, and P1 Brown just about has enough in hand to hold on to that 3rd place. What we got going on behind that? Bastek side by side by the looks of it with CRL Rosberg.
Yeah, Rosberg actually got back past him then through turn 1, but Bastek coming back at him again, potentially coming into turn 4, not close enough on this occasion. And Limitless is still making ground. I think he's he has. He's just moved himself into 30. He's got dual controllers ahead of him. Of course, everyone ahead of him are on the softest compound tyres. The super soft tyres. A couple of guys come in, all fitted the medium tyres.
So it's all happening then. Limitless stuck in a bit of a train at the moment behind the battling Jork and Drelix. Not much ground made so far. He's got through in a maze, but Melanie and Mercer went backwards due to incident. What have we got going on further up the order? We're going on board with VSR Verstappen, who's tucked up behind João Pedro and P1 Brown, and P1 Brown actually threatening to drop out with the 1 second window to Jason when the DRS is active pretty soon. But Leopard at the moment streaking clear to the tune of 1.5 seconds. The perfect start for the championship leader, who is looking to make big strides in his championship hopes here today. There you go, brand new fastest lap from Leopard, 1:22.0. But here comes João Pedro going for a 2nd attempt and an attack on P1 Brown down towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough? Doesn't look like it on this occasion. But what about behind that? Sira, he's on the attack side by side with Verstappen through the Rettifilio, but there's no way through. But there is a way through for Reynolds behind that. He looks to have got himself ahead of Johns Alonika in the battle for 9th and 10th as Limitless now lines up Drelix. All happening everywhere you look, James.
Yeah, of course, and that's the tendency around this circuit of Monza. Serious close to get to Verstappen, and the braking could get him on that occasion.
Here comes Limitless on the inside of Drelix, and he's through on the soft compound tyre. Easy as you like. Drelix not fighting it too hard, and Limitless is up into the top 12.
Yeah, good move there from him. DRS is enabled, of course, on this lap. We're about to stick with João Pedro down into this Curry, and he leaves those Ferrari fans off their feet, and he goes around the outside into a scurry. Goes João Pedro. How about that for an overtake from the Brazilian, and moves himself into 3rd place? What a tremendous move!
Oh, the Tifosi are on their feet, James. Absolutely magnificent stuff from João Pedro. P1 Brown isn't going to take it lying down though. He's going to try and go round the outside into the Parabolica. There's absolutely no chance of that. And we've got 2 Ferraris in the top 3 places here at Monza. Where has this pace came from? Ferrari have been nowhere all season long, but with the arrival of João Pedro and the re-energised Jason, they're back and flying. But here comes P1 Brown attacking once again down into the Rettifilio. He's on the inside and he's back through up into 3rd place. Tidy stuff, great action as Sira gets his nose in there, battling with Verstappen but can't find a way through. Good stuff from P1 Brown. Great fight back, great racing everywhere in the field at the moment, James.
Absolutely, and we're witnessing Rosberg's right on the back of the gearbox to steer once again, then down into towards brakes. The 2 pad users who just shocked us all in Germany, both getting on the rostrum. And Rosberg trying to get and find his way through. João Pedro may try the audacious move that he tried earlier on. Look at that lead, Andy. It's 3.3 seconds, or less than that, after just 4 laps of this Italian Grand Prix. He's bolted away, has Eckert.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying. He is going off like a steam train, there's no doubt about it. Speaking of trains, there's a real train behind him. Look at that, Jason holding absolutely everyone in a line within a second, all the way back to TSR Bastic. So Jason at the moment, kind of the cork in the champagne bottle after that great qualifying session. But Leopard will be loving it. He'll be licking his lips, licking his paws, will the Leopard. And he is streaking clear, as you say, and looking good to extend his championship lead by a significant margin. By the way, quick update on Limitless, unseen by us. He's got ahead of Jock and up into 11th place. So that's the big move as Sira tries to line up Verstappen down towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough? João Pedro thought about it. Look at that from Sira from a long way back on the inside. Contact between them, and now Rosberg will get involved in the battle. He tucks himself into the battle. Sira was really late on the brakes there. A touch rude. He touched with Verstappen. Verstappen touched him back, and Sira looks like he's just about got the job done on the Pink Panther. Aggressive but exciting to watch, James.
Yeah, the ruthless nature of Sira is down again. We've seen it a couple of times this season from the Brazilian, getting his overalls out, and that's exactly what he's done again here today. He's now 1.3 seconds behind his Brazilian counterpart, João Pedro. They were locking out the front row at one point in qualifying. They're 4th or 5th at the moment, and Pedro's got an opportunity here to pass Brown, and Brown's got the DRS on a defensive list at the moment, Jason.
Yeah, look at this, it's all happening. Look at them all closing up. Well, there's a little bit of a gap because Sira and Verstappen were not literally taking lumps out of one another a few moments ago, but here we go. Piona Brown trying to get back at Jason. He was overtaken by João Pedro. Now he's going to re-overtake João Pedro and now attacking the other Ferrari. He won't be the most popular man in Monza. Well, Piona Brown, if he goes passing Jason, will he, James?
No, absolutely not. I'm sure Jason's been racing after that pole position he got. Obviously, he's got to be looking as if he's not going to be winning this race anytime soon unless Leopard gets to do all sorts of calamities. But Jason can't close enough on the braking into turn 1 on this occasion. Nor can João Pedro behind. These two Brazilians are properly aggressive, and I love it.
Yeah, they really are. It's great racing so far. It's just a shame Leopard's running away with it. But behind that, it really has been a great scrap as Piona Brown tries once again on the back of Jason. Is he going to be close enough for a move down into the braking zone at the second chicane, the Della Rocia? No, he's not. It's still Leopard leading on lap 6 out of 20.
Yeah, Limitless making ground, as we said once again. He's this gap behind Reynolds in the top 10. So both Toro Rossos, well, they're on the cusp of points with one in the form of Reynolds, who's staying with John Zananica, but he's just missing out the DRS just that little bit. He's within it and then just sliding within and out that DRS of the car in front. But as you said, Andy, there's this almighty train ready for a scrap on the podium here. Yeah,
there's a real opportunity with Jason holding all these guys up for guys on the fringes of the top 10 to score a big result if they don't pick up any serious corner cut penalties, as you know, almost everyone within a second. You've got a little gap there where Cena is at 1.3, a little gap where John is, as Jason comes very early into the pit. So Jason has had enough of his tyres, and now that gives Pedro the chance on Piona Brown. They go side by side down towards turn 1. John picks up a 5-second stop goal for speeding in the pits, but never mind that. Round the outside tries João Pedro, but Piona Brown keeps that Alfa Romeo Sauber as wide as he can and holds on to P2 at the moment. I thought for all the while that João Pedro was going to go past there.
Absolutely, but I think it was just a slight lock-up from Brown on his run front right, and actually done the justice for him because it didn't allow Pedro the space in towards the first couple of corners. But Rosberg has also found himself past as well. He's just ahead of Verstappen.
Yeah, great little battle there, 5th, 6th and 7th between Rosberg, Verstappen and Bastic. Let's ride on board with Bastic and get a front row seat with the popcorn out in that Renault. Verstappen just up the road with Rosberg just ahead of that. Cena now pretty much on his own. He's got a 9/10 cushion, well, a 1.1 second cushion over Rosberg and 9/10 the car in front. So a little bit of clean air for Cena as things stand as they go flying through the Ascari chicane and down towards the Parabolica. It's Leopard in the lead. but to the tune of 4 seconds over P1 Brown, and João Pedro looking very close again. Is he going to have a look down towards turn 1? Will there be any pit stops being made by either of the drivers? Not on this occasion, so this is it then. Pedro down towards turn 1, the Tifosi on their feet. They're expectant, they're hoping to see a prancing horse gallop past down towards the braking zone of turn 1. He's made it stick already. Leopard, by the way, and all of that picks up a 3-second time penalty. That will give these guys hope, and João Pedro on his ILR1 debut moves up into second place. Tidy move.
Tidy move and a tidy race by the look of things as well for João Pedro, really starting to prove himself early doors in his ILR career, and we'll see what he's able to achieve in the part of the Grand. We've still got so many laps left of this one, 19 in fact. Let's see, because Brown is staying right with him on this occasion. Limitless is now 1.7 seconds behind Reynolds. These soft tyres are starting to make their mark.
Yep, they sure are, and just in case you're wondering, I'll go back to the tyre graphic for you guys after the early laps. Jason, John, Melanie, Murso, Amaze, they're all on the mediums. Limitless, the only man that started the race on the softs. Everyone else started on the super soft tyres. John Alanika picks up a 3-second time penalty. That adds to his 5 seconds for a stop go. That's 8 seconds for him. Jot now picks up a 3-second time penalty. The man from Wigging not going too well at the moment as Leopard continues to hold a 4.3 second advantage, but has a 3-second time penalty. The guys in close proximity to him do not, as they all head down the start-finish straight once again. João Pedro second, P1 Brown third, and Sira bringing himself back into play in the background, isn't he? Sira just waiting for a moment as Bastek now lunges up the inside on Verstappen and takes 6th place. Tidy stuff there from Bastek, but only just caught it.
Another one of the names where he's having a great qualifying and really not showing it in the race, and it's another proven fact. Sira is really with.
Sorry James, I think you were lagging a little bit there. I'm not too sure what happened, but hopefully it smooths itself out in a few moments. I don't know if anybody else is picking that up in the stream, but you're lagging a little bit there, James. Hopefully it smooths itself out. But Sira at the moment tucked right up behind the back of P1 Brown, who's tucked right up behind the back of João Pedro, 2nd to 9th, 1 second covering each driver or less at the moment. A bit of a train at the head of this group, with Leopard just that little bit further up the road. Is P1 Brown going to have a look this time on João Pedro down towards the parabolic? It doesn't look like it. Or are we going to see a pit stop anytime soon? Jason was so early, so aggressive with his timing of the pit stop. Is João Pedro coming in? Yes he is, as is Leopard. So some big moves in the pit lane there. Sira in as well, James. Have we got you back crystal clear?
He should do. Limitless was very close to Reynolds in the background as well there. He got within 0.5 of a second before Reynolds made his stop, and it's all going to start closing up. Leopard in the pits as well, as you said. Yep,
you're loud and clear. That's what I like to hear. Good stuff. So into the pits, Leopard, João Pedro, Sira, Ivan Reynolds and Relix. And as you see, Limitless was quite close to Reynolds, so going that little bit longer, he'll be looking to jump ahead of not one, but maybe 2 or 3 drivers on those soft tyres with a little bit of clean air, James. He's got 3 seconds up the road to the next man of VSR Verstappen, who should hopefully be in the pits by the time he catches him.
Absolutely, and this is a nice little point for him. And to be scratch. People.
Sorry James, you're cutting out again. Sorry James, I don't know what's happening.
At some points, because there's not the
Sorry James, you're cutting out again. I don't know if we can sort some Wi-Fi issues. I don't know. Try and turn off some Wi-Fi in your house. I've turned the Wi-Fi off on my phone. I don't know if you get any devices on Wi-Fi. Hopefully we can try and iron it out. But once again, you're cutting out, which is a shame. But hopefully we can get you back clear as day in a moment. If you leave the party, James, I'll try and invite you back. Maybe that could maybe work. Try and do something. Sorry folks, give me 2 seconds. Apologies for that, folks. Hopefully that sorts itself out. There is Leopard. There is João Pedro. He is ahead of Pieman Brown. Look how tight it is in that group behind. Sira still fifth. Jason, by the way, with that early pit stop, has lost a massive amount of places. Look at that. João Pedro, Pieman Brown, and Sira all getting ahead of him. That early pit stop has not worked for Jason, but he went to mediums. The others have went to softs. Does he think that they will last better later on in the race? Perhaps that is the thinking for Jason after that early pit stop. We'll have to wait and see how things pan out for Jason. Hopefully we can get James back with us soon as well. Okay, so there you go. TRL Limitless is your race leader. LCR Leopard second. João Pedro 4.1 away as John Alike. John's Alonike picks up a 3-second time penalty. Sira now setting up brand new fastest lap of the race and is right up behind Pieman Brown. 3-second time penalty for CRG Merceau as well. Sira having a look up the inside, unable to make a move stick down into turn one. Limitless going long, of course, on those soft tyres, what he started on. Jason, he was in very early from his super softs to go to mediums. He is in this group. Can he fight back at these guys later on when the soft tyres wear out? That is one of the other big questions. But Leopard at the moment, 3.9 ahead of João Pedro, but he does have a 3-second time penalty. Bastic now adds his name to the list of drivers with penalties, so not good for him either. Speaking of him, oh, look at this. Very close going down there into the braking zone for the second Lesmo. But at the moment, Bastic just about holding on despite his penalties as CRL Rosberg lines him up then, opens up the DRS in that Mercedes and should be able to pull alongside, is he? Not quite, as they reach the braking zone and through the Ascari chicane. It's still Limitless leading from Leopard in second as we await this little battle developing. Further down the field, there's Reynolds and Jean's Alonike, who could be battling with TRL Limitless later on when Limitless comes out from his pit stop after crashing in qualifying yesterday. And the LCR Leopard, his championship rival, determined to punish him for that error. Sira, by the way, further up the road, I've missed it, has made the move stick on Pieman Brown and down the straight they go. Look at that, CRL Rosberg repassing TSR Bastic into turn one, so moves everywhere you look at the moment. Big move that. Let's keep an eye on Pieman Brown. Is he going to be able to fight back? It doesn't look like it. VSR Sira moves ahead, and is that a decisive moment in the race? Next up on his radar, his fellow countryman, VRL João Pedro, who is currently on for a net P2 on his ILR debut. Other ILR debutants, Isar Amaze, he's in 16th, and John's Alonica in P11. That's the other debutants, but VRL Pedro by far the debutant outshining the others. As we go back to keep an eye on TSR Bastic in his battle with Rosberg, which seems to be seesawing one way then the other at every moment. Is Bastic going to be able to make a move? If Jason picks up a 3-second time penalty, not something you'd usually associate with Jason. He'll be kicking himself about that one, that's for sure. As Bastic lines up a move on Rosberg down towards the braking zone for the Parabolica. Jason also being sucked back into this by choosing the medium tyre. That looks like a strange decision at this stage of the Grand Prix from Jason, it has to be said. As Rosberg lines him up into turn one, and it looks like he's going to breeze past Jason, and he does, and takes that 6th place away. So Jason, after that great qualifying, slowly fading out of contention in the race. Medium tyres not working at this phase of the Grand Prix, and he drops down to P7, and he could be easy pickings for TSR Bastic as well. And Bastic is gaining and gaining, trying to reel him in. Is he going to be able to make that stick? Doesn't look like it, and Jason for now holds on in P7. And I think we might in the commentary box. James, do you read me? Yes, sorry? Oh, lobby invite. Yeah, okay, how do you do that? 2 seconds. I'll drop one in a minute after this little scrap between Bastic and Jason. As they go down towards the parabolica. Is there going to be a move there from Bastic? Doesn't look like it. I'm going to try and drop you one now. How do you do it? In the party. Hold on.
Go on to party and then invite everyone to game.
Invite to game. Okay. Yeah. Folks, but we should be back with the action as Bastic has now got himself ahead of Jason down towards the braking zone there. Hopefully James can rejoin us soon as Sira lining up João Pedro for that net second place. Well, wait the pit stop of TRL Limitless, that cannot be too far away either. Is he going to be planning a set of super softs, or is he going to be planning a set of mediums? That's the other big question. Is ESR Amaze has been in the wall somewhere and is out of the race? Could that bring out a virtual safety car? If it did, that would really help Limitless, but there's no sign of that at the moment. And Limitless, as we go on board with him, carrying on at the head of the field in the lead by 8.6 seconds over Leopard, but he is yet to stop. James, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm just about it there, but perhaps it's so now, isn't it? And Limitless still hasn't stopped. I mean, it's looking good for him once he does decide to bolt on those super soft tyres. You can get about 10 or so laps out of them-ish, so I'm sure he'll be trying to eke out as much as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's ESR Amaze, who has retired from the race in the pit lane, is getting in the way, his AI car of João Pedro and Sira. And João Pedro there is compromised, and now Sira is going to breeze past him by the looks of it. Side by side, they go through Curva Grande. It actually looked like a planned move there. And Sira, perhaps Brazilians being friendly to one another, as friends perhaps, and Sira goes through ahead of João Pedro and up into what would be a net second place in this Grand Prix. Leopard now would be the net leader, Sira second, and Limitless, when he pits, is going to have to come charging back through because his two title rivals, James, are making the most of his mistake.
I think, yeah, the big thing really for Limitless now is, though, he's got to make sure that he leaks enough time so he can actually make these overtakes happen. It's pointless him staying out there until like lap 23, then bolting on a set of super softs, if he can go that far. If he then decides to just go too long, because there is a difference between going too long and not doing enough. And Pedro...
He's coming in now.
Yeah, so Limitless pits, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming into the pit, so this is it then. Limitless on a salvage job after that disaster of a qualifying session which seen him smash into the barrier on the exit of the Ascari chicane. This is absolutely vital. Leopard goes past him, Sira goes past him, João Pedro, P1R Brown also goes past him, as does Rosberg, as does Bastek, as does Jason, and that will leave him rejoining the track in 8th place, 10 laps to go, an awful lot of positions to make up. Can he do it, James? That's the question. Limitless on a mission.
Yeah, but good for him. He's in clean air compared to where he could have been. If he'd have left it another lap, he'd have been in this train with Verstappen, Alanika and Reynolds. That's exactly where he didn't want to be. So he's jumped all three of those guys. Said earlier on in commentary that he was going to possibly jump all three of them. He has jumped all three of them. He's now 3.1 seconds behind Jason on a set of mediums as Jason. So he's got some work to do.
João Pedro back ahead of Sira as well, by the way, so that's also been a little bit of a switch as we were watching TRL Limitless. So this is it then. How far up the road can he get on those super soft tyres? He's got 2.2 to make up to get to Jason, then around 3 seconds to get to Bastic and Rosberg. Top five's got to be his target, but it's going to be tough as Jason picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's picked up more than one, that's 2 for Jason. So maybe Limitless, by not picking up any penalties, can gather a few places that way, James.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the way that he will do it as well, Limitless. If he can get on the back of Jason, don't expect Jason to properly fight this because these fresh super soft tyres are going to be a mismatch for 10-lap old mediums, and you'll soon see that. Sira and Pedro are still going at it down towards the first corner. Sira going sideways actually going through turn 1, still staying quite close together. No moves being made.
Well, it's all happening, all going to happen in the remaining laps as Leopard still has that lead by the way. It's Bastek now and Rosberg. Look, they're going to continue this race-long battle side by side down towards the ILRGT. Are we going to see a move on this occasion between the two? No, we are not. They remain as they were. Rosberg 5th, Bastek 6th, but they're going to be joined pretty soon by a charging TRL Limitless, who's already only 1.6 behind Jason and is threatening a move pretty soon. Leopard, by the way, 4.6 ahead of João Pedro. If he picks up another penalty, he could be under a little bit, pardon me, of threat. Jones Alanika gets ahead of Viersa Verstappen and moves ahead up into 9th place, but is picking up penalties hand over fist at the moment. Limitless then, half a second behind Jason, and this should be easy pickings, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the superior grip he has, just coming through Ascari alone. And under braking, you can see it in the Mercedes-Benz as well as he heads down towards the Parabolica. He's going to be mighty close on the run down to turn 1, if not past him by that point. Well,
here we go then, through the Parabolica. Jason struggling so much for grip out onto the AstroTurf, and I don't think he's going to put much of a defence up here. Oh, Limitless leaves it very late. They pop out from behind him. Jason not defending it. Limitless fastest lap of the race on the Super Softs, not a surprise, and he's up into P7, and actually he's going to catch Bastek and Rosberg relatively quickly because at the moment they're still jostling as they have been all race long for that P5 and 6 as Sira is now back ahead of João Pedro further up the road as well. So Limitless 2.6 now behind these two. He should get to them without a trouble as well.
I caught the move between Sira and Pedro just very late though. It was under braking and Sira just bombed one down the inside from another country really to get past João Pedro, which was interesting, but Pedro let him really have the space there and Sira threw into second place, but he's 5.2 seconds behind Leopard. Leopard cannot afford to get another penalty in this one.
Absolutely, Leopard under a lot of pressure regarding that, as it looks like Pedro is going to try it once again in this ding-dong battle. We've got two little ding-dongs going on all race long. We've got Pedro and Brown swapping, Pedro and Sira just swapping constantly. We've got Rosberg and Bastek swapping constantly. Just the difference is Limitless is about to join that duo and make it a triple threat in a few moments' time. As here comes João Pedro on Sira. Is he going to go late on the brakes up the inside into turn 1? Not on this occasion, as Limitless once again pumps in another fastest lap of the Grand Prix as Rosberg again repasses TSR Bastek. At the moment, this is happening constantly, lap after lap. We're seeing moves there, moves for second, and Limitless pumping in fastest laps.
Absolutely, and those two Mercedes will get close together once again. We saw it in Germany, and Rosberg basically describing in the post-race interviews last week, didn't really care that he'd passed JD last week, which came to us a bit of a surprise, so don't expect any sympathy from Limitless here. I'm sure it'll be maybe a lot quicker on this occasion compared to last week, but we will see how much of a fight Rosberg gives.
Did he not say that he was pandering around? Was that not his exact words last
yes.
week? That was his exact words. Obviously, he didn't mean to say it like that, but he wasn't interested in pandering around behind his teammate Limitless. But, you know, I think roles are about to be reversed on this occasion, James, aren't they?
Oh, they are. Let's see what Limitless can do against Bastek here. It should be quite easy for him.
Yep, it should be easy for Limitless. 3 laps chewed into those super soft tyres so far. No sign of any serious wear yet as he lines up a move on Bastek as they come round the final corner and up to the line. Are we going to see a move from Limitless here down towards turn 1? Oh, what's my controller doing as Limitless sets another fastest lap? And there you go, there's the move from TRL Limitless on the inside. Is he through? He should be, and he is. Apologies for that terrible camera angle. My controller is really starting to annoy me, but there you go, Limitless up into 6th place. Next up is his teammate. Let's keep an eye on this. Is he going to let him go, or is he going to fight it, James? What do you think?
Well, usually if you're going to let someone through, you do it you do it just as you have a slight little straight, you lift off just that little bit and let your teammate through. But hasn't on this occasion, maybe he will. Coming down the back straight underneath the bridge, we'll soon see. We've only got a few seconds for that to be found out as they head into the second Lesmo. And these two Mercedes, the last thing they will do is get into any sort of contact. With Darius wide open then on Tierra Luminous' Mercedes-Benz. And then down towards Ascari we go. Should be easy for him. And to be fair, Rosberg put up a bit of a fight, not too much. Limitless into 5th.
Yep, no sign of making it easy for him, but it should be easy enough on those super soft tyres. And Limitless, as you say, moves up into 5th place. 5.1 seconds to get to P1R Brown. That's asking a lot. I think P1R Brown's got penalties. I'm not too sure exactly how many, but he should be able to get close enough to P1R Brown to threaten him. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Leopard still leads by 5.8 seconds as he tries to get that gap above 6. As Rosberg, is he going to come back here at Limitless down towards turn 1? I wouldn't be surprised if he is, as they reach the brake pedal. Nope, he keeps behind him, doesn't try a move, and Limitless should be safe from this moment on in 5th place with the traction he gets coming out of that first chicane, and he should be away and gone, James.
Yeah, there's a Sauber in the wall down at turn 4. It's John Danica in the just for in a face full of barrier, and two past him. Do get past him. Goodness me, that's not a sight you want to see on a racetrack. And it really does give you. I want to say it gives you butterflies. Gives you that slight bit of adrenaline where you're like, oh, okay, this is a bit spicy. And Danica didn't get in anyone's way, thankfully. 4.7 seconds the gap. 4.6 seconds the gap between Limitless and P1R Brown. Just to give you an update on the penalty, Brown actually is one warning away from a penalty, so it could come to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Has he not got any so far, P1R Brown? Is that correct? None so far?
No.
Okay,
no, he hasn't got any.
P1R Brown then, under threat potentially from Limitless in a few moments' time if he was to gather a time penalty. But Limitless on the recovery drive. It's been a decent recovery drive, James, hasn't it? But, you know, I think he'll still be kicking himself regardless of what he finishes from here.
I think this would have been a harder comeback race than Silverstone, I'll be honest. I think Silverstone, he had, it's difficult to judge, but Silverstone, he had the lap 1 incident. He didn't really have that here. He did have a couple of guys spinning around in front of him, but he didn't gain half the grid's worth of positions in that time. It's a bigger grid today as well, so there's lots of things to be sort of account himself for. But for Limitless today, yeah, it's been a good solid comeback drive. If he could get a podium though, I think that's you're starting to look at potential champions.
Absolutely, and that's when you're looking at potential driver of the day awards, but it's hard to award him driver of the day after that massive mistake in qualifying, it has to be said. You know, we are interested though, for you guys that are watching, the healthy number of you guys that are tuning in, let us know who your pick for driver of the day is going to be this afternoon. Let me just give you a look at the position changes. Limitless, of course, the big gain, 11 places up. Rosberg up 5, Reynolds up 5, up 4 Sierra, by the way.
Oh, Brown has a penalty.
And Brown, there you go, there's that time penalty, and that should open the door for TRL Limitless to take 4th place away from him. So things starting to shape up nicely. How's Pedro looking on the penalty count, James?
He's doing really well, actually. He's only got 1 warning, so he's doing really well to get himself a penalty so far. Sarah's 1 warning away as well from getting himself a time penalty, so it could all come to for JD here.
Absolutely, as he roams in now on the back. Homes in now on the back of P1R Brown. He should have that in the bag whether he gets him or not, as long as he does not pick up a time penalty himself. Of course, Limitless could be under threat from a few of those. I want to give driver of the day to Leopard. I'm going to wait till the race is finished because there's quite a few penalties to be sorted out between now and the end, as Reynolds proves my point as he gathers up 3 seconds to his name. Currently running in 9th place. Hopefully he can get into the points because you know, those Toro Rosso boys, they really do put in a lot of effort to try and score the odd point here and there, and by the looks of it, Reynolds might just earn a couple of points in 9th if he can just keep the penalty count down. VSR Verstappen, a quick word on him, James. Again, just dropping out of it in the race. The qualifying pace was good, but in the race it's not quite there, is it? And at the moment on for just 1 point. James, are you there? Hello? James? James, are you there? Hello? Okay, maybe not. Okay, anyway, back up to BRL João Pedro in 3rd place at the moment as he attacks Sierra again, and that's ding-dong battle. It's been going on all race long, and unable to make a move into the braking zone at turn 1, and Leopard now well above that 6-second margin. He can afford to gather another time penalty, can LCR Leopard. So things going reasonably well for him at the moment, who is at the moment going to be my driver of the day. I think he's not put a foot wrong this afternoon. Made that move at the start and has not looked back since. As João Pedro lines up his Brazilian counterpart, Sierra, on this 25th lap out of 27. Is he going to make that move? We'll have to keep an eye on it. Tell you what, TRL Limitless would love these two to have an error, as James has sadly left the session. Appears to be struggling with internet connection tonight. I think we're all struggling with a few technical hitches, but hopefully we can get him back for the interviews in a few moments' time. We'll wait to the end of the Grand Prix as Jean's Alanika, much like ESRMA's, the two debutants to the tier, have retired from the Grand Prix. The other debutant you're riding on board with, BRL João Pedro, faring much better as things stand in third place, with Sira just up the road in second, as Leopard has started his penultimate lap of the race. And here is this battle. It's been raging on all race long. CRL Rosberg against Bastic. No sign at the moment of any changes in position, as João Pedro has a look again into turn one, but he's not close enough to make his way through. Let's keep an eye on Bastic then. Is he going to make a move as John's Alanika's car gets in the way, just like Isara Maid's car did at turn one earlier on the Grand Prix. And Rosberg carries on in 6th place, Bastic 7th. No changes there, but João Pedro getting closer and closer to threatening a move as Murso gathers 3 seconds to his name. A lot of promise for CRG Murso in qualifying, but it's failed to come together in the race after that early contact in the opening lap, much like Sebastian Vettel's contact yesterday. In the Italian Grand Prix last season. So as Pedro continues to line up Sira a couple of laps from home, are we going to get a little bit of a position change there? Bastic also very close to Rosberg. Are we going to see a change there? Doesn't look like it in the braking zone. Let's shuffle forward again to João Pedro, with Limitless homing in on this group. P1 Brown, he'll have to get through him first. Let's keep an eye on Limitless then, as he attacks P1 Brown, who has got a 3-second time penalty, and he will ease past with the DRS. He should make it easy for him. Up ahead of that, BRL Pedro gets the move. João Pedro ahead of Sira into turn one. That's crucial for the World Championship. So Sira loses out to João Pedro, and that's 10 points he will lose to Leopard in the fight. He will now be 34 points behind him. So that's a big, big loss of points for Sira there by losing out to Pedro. We could really do with getting back ahead of him. Crucial move there for him. For João Pedro, for Leopard. Crucial move for TRL Limitless, getting ahead of P1 Brown. But I think it's too little, too late to do anything about Sira and João Pedro, as they do not have time penalties. Still a good recovery from Limitless, no doubt about it. But he will be kicking himself for that mistake in qualifying. That's for sure. Limitless from the back of the grid is going to come to 4th. The back of the grid in Silverstone got him all the way up to the victory. He does like doing things the hard way, does TRL Limitless. To LCR Leopard, who comes across the line, and he takes the victory here at Monza. A great win for LCR Leopard. João Pedro is second, Sira third, with Limitless hitting a line in 4th. Well, it's a good recovery from him, but it's a massive victory for LCR Leopard in the Renault. 25 points in the bag. His 4th win in 8 races this season. You have to feel he is the strong favourite in the World Championship battle now. Huge result for him. Leopard wins from João Pedro. Sira in 3rd. TRL Limitless recovers from 16th place to finish in 4th. P1 Brown, the pole sitter, coming home in 5th. He'll be disappointed after such a good qualifying. 6th was CRL Rosberg, 7th PSR Bastic. Again, Rosberg making big gains in the race, 5 places in all. Jason down 5 to 8th. Not a good afternoon for Jason, it has to be said. EVR Reynolds, 9th for him. VSR Verstappen comes home with 1 point in 10th. Drelex 11th, Melanie 12th. Jork is going to see the flag 13th, just ahead of CRG Murso, and that rounds out the 14 finishers of the 16. ESR Amazed and Jean's Alanika, the 2 newcomers, failing to reach the checkered flag. Well, a big result for LCR Leopard, who really does take a big lead in the championship now. It was 7 points going into this race. It is now a 20-point advantage he holds over TRL Limitless after today's race. Well, his rivals have fallen around him. He has picked up the pieces He got ahead at the start and never looked back. A great victory for LCR Leopard. He leads the championship by 20 points. João Pedro, second on his debut in ILR. Great result for him. Sira in third. He is 34 points away from top spot in the standings. Let's take a look then at the Italian Grand Prix, the full race results. LCR Leopard, the victor in the end, with 37 minutes and 37 seconds, 25 points in the bag for Renault. BRL João Pedro, the Tifosi get to celebrate, one Ferrari on the podium in the end, with second ahead of his fellow countryman, VSR Sira in third. Limitless, that big crash, it cost him big time in the end in qualifying. He showed in the race to be only 4.5 seconds off at the end, that he had good pace. He was fourth. Pimona Brown, after pole position, he would have hoped for better. He is fifth. Cyril Rosberg, again, climbing from outside the top 10 into the points in sixth. Bastek seventh. Jason eighth, after third in the grid. Another disappointing day for him. EVR Reynolds ninth. And VSR Verstappen rounding out the top 10. VSR Drelex, unfortunate not to be in the points today. Melanie in 12th. Jort 13th. And 14th for CRG Murso after contact at the start. Two newcomers, Johns Alonika, failing to get into the classification, as did ESR Amazed. Well, stick with us, folks. I'm going to try and invite the guys in here for post-race interviews. I don't have James with me. I don't even know if I've got half of these guys on my friend list. Invite to party, Sira. Invite to party. And hopefully we can get Leopard as well. Well, fantastic Grand Prix here at Monza. Only 3 races to go now, and I believe LCR Leopard has now opened up a 20-point lead in the championship after that fourth place finish for TRL Limitless and that third place for Sira. That means that Sira 34 points now behind in the championship with 3 races to go. So it's all opened up now for LCR Leopard, and he can perhaps take it easy over the remaining 3 races, not take too many risks. Let's speak to him now. Leopard, fantastic day for you. Victory here at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, and you've opened that championship gap out from 7 points to 20 points, with Limitless finishing in 4th. You must be absolutely delighted with that today.
Yeah, good result. Obviously JD down to 4th. Sorry, taking a bin on the exit with Scar in quali. Got my final quali lap in, because otherwise that would have been interesting if I didn't. So I've been down in like P9, P10. But yeah, got in, put a P2, got Brown off the start, and yeah, then broke the DRS and kind of just controlled it from there, really.
And got to ask you, Leopard, going into the remaining 3 races now with that 20-point lead, what's your approach going to be? Is it going to be any different, full on attack, or slightly more cautious, knowing that you've got a lot more to lose with a 20-point buffer?
I don't know. I mean, you can't really. It's all well and good having a plan, but let's be honest, it probably immediately goes out of the window as soon as the lights go out. But I don't know. We'll play. We'll see what happens in USA, and we'll just take it from there, really.
Well, you know, that's it. 4 wins from 8 races now, so you know, really, really good form, and it's hard to argue that you can't win the championship from here. If you know, that's a 50% strike rate. Much higher than your championship rivals, so you know you've got to feel that you should be able to close it out. Are you feeling quite confident going into the remaining races?
Yeah, I mean I've been confident ever since the start that I can win this, and obviously with the 20-point gap with 3 races to go, confidence is even higher. So yeah, I'm confident, but we'll just take it one race at a time, and yeah, as I said, we'll see what happens.
And with that heartbreak in the previous championship a couple of seasons ago, where there was a 3-car fight going into that final race, does that make you even more motivated to come out on top this time round?
For sure. I mean, in the situation of Abu Dhabi in season 1, I kind of believed I was the quickest car going into Abu Dhabi. Obviously, Martin's bad luck in previous races probably meant he should have won the title. But it's how racing goes, and it's luck of the draw. But yeah, we'll see what happens, which I've probably said like 5 times in this podium interview already. So yeah.
Okay, well, you've covered it all. You've covered it all. Congratulations on that victory. That's 4 wins out of 8 and a
Cheers.
20-point lead in the championship. Good job, Leopard. Let's move on now to João Pedro, the debutant in the tier, who picked up 2nd place and sent the Tifosi home happy. João Pedro, you must be happy with that one.
Yeah, I am really, really happy actually first of all, to have the opportunity to race in such a big league. I am lucky to already do that, and to get P2 with my friend in P3, both Brazilians in the podium. I'm really, really happy. Yeah, sorry about my English, but yeah, I thought if I didn't crash off by myself on the quali, I could have challenged Leopard to the win, but yeah, hope the next race I can do better, and yeah, thanks to everyone who watched the race.
Yeah, well, it was a really, really good performance, João Pedro. I really enjoyed watching you battle with your fellow Brazilian driver, Cira. It was really enjoyable to watch, so congratulations on that 2nd place. And, you know, as you say, without that crash in qualifying, it could have maybe been that little bit better. So, you know, 3 races to go to try and improve further. What are your targets? Are you going to try and win a couple of races? Is that your aim, to try and win a race?
Yeah, it will be just too hard, but every race I enter, I want to win. So yeah, I will give 100% every single race. It's gonna be tough, but it's gonna be fun.
And of course, the Brazilian Grand Prix. That's the final race. You'll be looking forward to that one. Home race. Try and win that one, perhaps.
Yeah. P1, P2 for the Brazilians.
Well, hopefully that will be the result. Congratulations, João Pedro. Great to have you in the tier, and great performance. Apart from that little bump in qualifying, can you just talk us through briefly what happened in qualifying with that little moment? Did you just lose it on the curb?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I wasn't paying too much attention actually, and when I saw I touched the grass, I didn't remind the damage was on because I was training before with damage off. So when I saw I was going to crash, I didn't care. But when I saw my wheel off, I was really upset. But it was still a P4 in the quali, so it wasn't that bad. I think I could be on pole, but that's already happened. And just let's move on to the next race and getting better every single race.
Okay, well, it was a good way to start, that's for sure. Well done on P2, João Pedro. Let's move on to Cira, who was moving into contention in the World Championship at the last race after victory, moved to within 24 points, has now gone back out to 34. Cira, how are you feeling after that one? Mixed feelings, good recovery from P6 on the grid, but you must at the same time feel that your championship chances are slowly, taking a dip.
Yeah, it was a good race. Qualifying is more as important as it looks because I just invalidated the pole lap and the final lap. I did a 0.5, so it would put me to the P1 and I just started P6. So maybe a better position in the grid could make me try to catch Lapper and maybe fight him with the victory since he have a penalty. But he was in the class of his own today after I just got paid to trying to leak shot with Pedro to try to catch him. He was another level, just opening the gap. So it was almost impossible to catch him. And on the end, it was just really, I just tried to don't battle because my tires was more than 75%. I was afraid to suffer a puncture and just roll all the way down to the grid. So I just decided to stay in the 3rd place, guarantee 15 points. The gap is opening to 34, but I'm just dropping 3 points from Limitless. Well, 3 races to go, 75 points in game. It's still now or never. I need to make a win to really have a chance to win the championship. Considering the consistency of Leper and Limitless, I think the championship will still between 2 of them. My dream was going to be champion Brazil, but it's really hard to make such comeback in the circumstances since Leper's consistency. But we're going to try to fight in this final 3 rounds.
Okay. Do you think? Okay. Realistically, you have to win all 3 races, Cira?
I don't know. It's, I mean, if it just happened with Leper in the next 2 rounds, like just happened with Limitless today, a crash in qualifying, or maybe an incident with the race which pulled him back down to the grid, yeah, I think it didn't necessarily need to win the race, but considering the consistency of results of these two drivers, if I don't win the next 3 races, it will be very, very hard to win the title this season.
And even at that, it could be very, very tough. But, you know, congratulations anyway, Sarah, on the recovery from 6th. I've got to ask you, you had a good battle with João Pedro, your fellow Brazilian. Did you enjoy that out on track? That was good to watch at times.
Yeah, we just battle a lot. Fortunately, this time we don't have any final content, the final few laps, but it was a great battle. At the first, we just tried to slingshot a little to each other to catch Leper and maybe fight for a better position in the end, but we just stay in the P2, P3, even because some couple of AI just not ruin it, but just it was hard to. I just forgot the right word to say that right now, but just complicated our work to catch Leper. So we just trying to fight in our own and fight for 18 points.
Sorry, say that again. What were you saying? Sorry, João Pedro.
The ghost car that wasn't a ghost until the moment I went inside him. Really harm our chances to get to Leopard, but still podium.
I see. So, my final question is: do you guys go back a long way? Do you guys race quite a lot in other leagues in Brazil and stuff?
Yeah, we just race a lot in BRL, I think, since the start of the last year. So we just quite used to battle with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to see you guys coming over to ILR and giving us some great action as well. So good to have you, and a good result for you guys and good result for Brazil. But in the end today, it was LCR Leopard that came out on top and extended his championship lead to 20 points. Can Limitless catch him? Can Cira catch him? We'll find out as we head along to the next race, which of course is the United States Grand Prix. Be sure to join us for that one at the same time next week. Thank you to Cira, thank you to João Pedro, and thank you to LCR Leopard for joining us in the podium interviews. That's all from me. That's all from James as well. Good night.